Hey everybody, welcome to Tuesday edition of Box Seats. I got my days mixed up. I almost said Monday. Tuesday edition of Box Seats. This is the show where sports meets comedy. We have a great conversation all the time. We talk about what happened in sports, world around sports. We just talk about sports, but we do it with comedians. And these comedians have been all around the world. They've been doing comedy for a very long time. So not only are you going to hear sports, you're going to hear sports with some funny commentary sprinkled out a little bit in between all of that and everything else. First up is my man Talent, who's been around the comedy game for a very long time. You see those T-shirts and everything else. That brother knows how to brand. I'm trying to tell you. That brother, Talent, how you doing, brother?
It's just comedy, Frank. You know how I'm doing, man. I'm feeling splendid today. It's hot. All you got to do is don't move.
Yes, I believe me when I tell you, I know it's hot. I know it's hot. Next up is my man, comedian Fig, known as Fig. Fig, how you doing today, brother? How's everything?
Oh, man, the new word for the day is splendid. Yes, I'm not to be confused with Splenda, which goes in your coffee. It's a splendid day.
There you go.
Splendid, brother. Splendid.
Splendid, yes.
It's splendid to hear. But I just want to know, should I write that down too? Is that related to piss off at the from yesterday?
Hey, man, let it go, bro.
Okay. I got my pen ready. Talent, I'm going to ride you all week, bro. Be like, yeah.
Pause.
Oh, you did not like me. Oh, Lord, I walked into that one.
Let's not start that shit.
Can we rewind that part? All right, man, let me jump into the COVID report, man. The first thing I always jump off with is say something about what I found out. But this one, when I tell you, is going to blow your mind. I think this right here could be the first domino that could set to fall and knock down a whole bunch of other dominoes compared to the Olympics. Here it is. I don't know if neither one of you all heard this. But a British runner, he's a 5,000 meter runner. His name is Andy Butcher. Did you guys hear about this story yet? Andy Butcher, he claims he faked the COVID test so he could to report negative so he could be able to participate in the Olympic trials. Then when he got pressured on it, he started to backtrack it. But he also said, I know of a lot of Olympic athletes who have faked their COVID test so they can compete for the Olympic trials. Now, when you hear that, Talent, if that ain't a huge domino, it's going to make people go, what? What'd you say? I don't know what will, because to me, bro, if the people find out that you've been faking tests and competing in the Olympics, wow, that's all I can say. What you think, Talent?
Well, the first thing it reminds me to call my man to hook up and get my my fake vaccine card. Anyway, I think you're right. This is a whistleblower. That's quiet as kept. You know how we say dry snitching in the hood? Like it's snitching, then it's dry snitching.
Right.
Well, that right there is dry whistleblowing. You know what I mean? You are he didn't just leave it at himself. There's a lot of people who did what I did. Y'all coming down on me. What Brahma used to say, come on, y'all, they caught us. You was in the bank too.
But you know what, man? This could literally be like that baseball situation where, I forgot the guy from Oakland A's. But when he got caught taking steroids, he started snitching on everybody else taking steroids. It could be literally something as big as that. I mean, that's just my opinion. What you think, Fig? I mean, could this be something huge that we're looking at?
Man, first off, I don't understand why these guys are allowed to take it. Like, I'm so confused right now. How do you take your own COVID test? I mean, they have a whole committee to test for steroids, but now we're in the midst of a pandemic and you get to do your own COVID test? I'm like, what? Like, how does that happen? I don't understand. I'm like, how are you faking your COVID test? I mean, are you COVID positive and you telling them that you're negative? Like, help. I don't know. Like, what is that?
To me, the thing is how do you fake a COVID test? I don't even know how I don't even know how you fake a COVID test, but he faked it and competed. You know what I mean? Like he actually competed in the Olympics. He faked his COVID test. Like that's why I'm like, how come I don't see this everywhere? Like how you fake your COVID test and then compete in the Olympics? Not like you competed running down the street trying to get an ice cream cone or something like that. You competed in the Olympics for the Olympic trial.
Hey man, I don't know how you
everything else. All you need is a person in that position to hook you up with that paperwork.
Yeah.
I don't know how you fake a COVID test. What do you do? Borrow somebody's nose?
Yeah, I mean, I don't need. Bro, listen, I don't know how you fake it, but the worst part is it also tells you that they're not really being diligent about checking people's COVID results for them to compete. They're really not doing that. That's the way I look at it. You know what I mean? Y'all remember the time when and I know I ain't the only one to do this. Remember the time when you had to bring a note home to your mom and dad and you didn't, but you did that and you walked it in and your teacher looked, either if you had the teacher, did they do diligent? They'd be like, wait a minute, this don't look, or if you had the teacher go, oh yeah, okay. You know what I mean? One of the two. So it shines like that to me. I mean, maybe I'm tripping. But anyway.
You're right. I mean, but we all know this is America and everything can be bootlegged. You know what I mean? Everything can be bootlegged, bro.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that.
Hey, Frank, it's Japan. They bootleg everything.
Yeah. That's true. That's very true. Speaking of bootleg, that's a great segue. Speaking of bootleg, my man Floyd Mayweather came out on Saturday or Sunday night and said, hey, I'm the only one who does this fake stuff, but you all know how much money I got for that fake fight. And everybody, he's having a conversation with the podcast. Everybody's not about 40, 50, 60, 70 million. No, he said, nah, I made $100 million. He said, now name somebody else who makes $100 million doing what I do. And he basically held Logan Paul for about 8 rounds. You know what I mean? So when you hear that he made $100 million, $100 million, what's your thought on these exhibition fights now?
I mean, that's about right. It don't take a rocket scientist to do the numbers. But, I mean, here's the thing. We all know it. You know what I mean? Now, how many more can he get away with now that he says it and puts it out there like, oh, I'm goofing around, I'm just making money. How many more can you get away with? That's the real question. Right.
Fig, Floyd Mayweather, 44 years old, made $100 million. He made more money at 44 than most boxers do who compete in the actual, obviously the whole thing. And it was a fake fight too. What's your thoughts?
Floyd is, when it comes to boxing, he's a financial genius, man, because Floyd Mayweather figured out very early in his career that the promoters was making all the money. So he was like, yo, I can promote my own fights and I'll just take all of the money for myself. And that's why all of those gatekeepers, if you will, those promoters were mad at Floyd. And that's why they keep coming after him with, different things and stuff like that, because Floyd is making a lot of money. But the one thing I would caution him, be very careful, Floyd, because when you start boasting about the money that you make and stuff like that, they will come after you. So be very careful how you make your moves, sir.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It looked like Rodney Perry's trying to join. I'm not sure if he's joining or not.
I agree with Fig. You make yourself a target.
Yeah. When you do make yourself a target, that you put the target on your back for people to come at you, or it could also bounce to your favor. You know what I mean? Because if he lines up with other YouTube people, people who are hot at the time, and everything else, because people want to see fights, man. They just want to see it. It could be.
But Frank, here's the flip side. Like what I just said, it's like once you let the cat out the bag, is it the same? Like what he's doing these couple of times with Moneymakers, because they sold it like it was some real shit. Now that you say, well, I'm just making $100 million, yeah, my fake fights, whatever. Does the demand drop a little bit? You know what I mean? Does like a guy like you like, oh, I'm gonna watch it. After a while, it's fake. You start that's kind of, remember when wrestling fell off? That's what happened to wrestling. It got out that it was fake, and wrestling took a huge dip, and they had to reinvent it itself. Yeah,
that's true. And on top of that too, I'll even add it with this before I jump into the next subject. I don't know how many people are going to want to pay after he said it's, after he said it's fake. How many people are going to want to pay $50, for that? Since Rodney Perry has now joined, Rodney, what's going on, brother? We talking about Floyd Mayweather. He said that A, he agreed that the fight was fake, and B, he said over the weekend that he made $100 million on this fight. You know what I mean? So we just been talking about that, man. What's your thoughts, Rodney Perry?
I mean, people pay for professional wrestling, and then I'm not gonna say it's fake because when John Stossel said it, he got slapped in the face. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's entertainment, man, and it still was entertaining. I don't know how fake it was, but I think we kind of smelled a rat, when we saw the fight materializing, and so Floyd, I think Fig said, is he's a great businessman, and he learned the game from the best. What's the name that managed him for years, who I still think has a hand in his business. I cannot think of his name, the black guy.
Don King?
Huh?
Don King?
No. The concert promoter that's promoted Al Heyman, yes. Yeah. Al Heyman, don't think Al Heyman is still not involved in the Floyd Mayweather business. He showed Floyd Mayweather the blueprint. That's why they had the issue with 50 Cent. 50 Cent was trying to come in there and be a part of Floyd's business, and he was like, "Dude, I owe Al Heyman everything." So, I think they've just figured out a way post boxing to make money, and I'm not mad at Floyd for that.
Yeah, you can't be mad because look, I don't know how much money he's made over the course of his career, but I'm sure it's close to $500 million. You know what I mean? Like that dude.
Hey, Frank, now he's saying the fight is fake, but basically it's an exhibition because it's not a title and it's not sanctioned. So it's an exhibition fight, right?
So by virtue of that, it is fake.
Yeah, but he was talking about the other type of fake, whereas they weren't trying to knock each other out and try to actually have a real fight.
That's why you can't get my money right there.
Yeah, me neither. I'd rather watch.
But how about this? If that big dude would have landed one on Floyd, he would have went down.
Yeah,
he outweighed about 50 pounds.
Yeah,
fake
but
not.
But let's also remember this.
Drive a Buick, I drive a Tesla.
Yeah, but let's also remember this. Floyd did knock him out and held him upright until he got his sentence too. We all saw it. He held him.
What you cannot do is fall down.
Yeah, you cannot fall down in the first round. And we got to stretch this out a little bit. So and that's exactly what he did. Come on now. Let's not act like we didn't see what we saw. Next up, man.
How you like my video today? Do it look different?
Yeah, you look a lot different.
Yes.
Is it clearer?
No,
it looks clear. We can see you.
I tell you one thing: your shirt is cleaner.
Is that right?
Nice, white, clean.
Yeah. Let me know when we can finish. Just y'all let me know.
No, I'm using an actual camera instead of my webcam right now. That's why.
Oh, okay. All right, it looks good though, Ronnie. It looks good. You look sparkly. You look sparkly. Washington football team named their co-CEO a female. I don't know if that's going to set rumblings throughout the NFL because it's a male-dominated sport and everything else. But the thing that I didn't like about this, the Washington football team owner, you know what he did? He had his wife be the co-CEO. So he's the CEO, but his wife is the co-CEO. So to me, I just see the writing on the wall because if they ever get divorced and something happened, there's going to be a problem with the football team because now and part of the divorce will be scrambling over co-CEO duties for the football team. So why he did that is beyond me. But what if
they get a divorce and then they're going to split the players up? Y'all come with me. I got the whole offensive line. I got special teams. Yo, you never know how that split's going to go. Yeah, but you know what, man? All is fair in love and war, Frank. When you're in love, I just was at a wedding this weekend, so I've always see both components. I always see that thrust component of love and everything you're willing to do. Love, when they say love is blind, that's some real stuff, because you are willing to jump out the window, jump through hoops and hurdles, and do it all. And in a minute, that shift changes. When that shift come in, that co-CEO, she's gonna be a little more than that.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you.
Promoted, she's gonna be the GM, the CEO, and then if you go to jail, she's gonna be the CO.
Hilarious.
Craig, what's your thoughts?
Talent is crazy, man. He ain't go far enough as far as I'm concerned. Not only are they gonna split up the team into players, they're gonna split up the fields. You say, look, you take this side of the 50-yard line, and I'm gonna take this side of the 50. Yo, I don't know, man. Yo, hey, they split it. Look, you make a co-CEO, you married, dude. What are you trying to do? You're trying to pull a wool over our eyes. If you married, she's already co-CEO. She already owns half the company. She owns half of everything that you have by reason of the fact that you got married, unless you had a prenup. So what are we talking about here?
Fig, you forgot one thing. If he married her in California, it'd be like, okay, I got from the 40-yard line down here. You got from the 60 on that way. Let's be honest. You know what I mean? Rodney Perry, what you think with the new camera, man? You the new camera, bro. What you think?
I mean, the reality is, I mean, it's not the first lady in the upper management in the NBA or NFL. I mean, you got Jeannie Buss, who carries a title of, president of that team. The lady that runs I'm thinking Pittsburgh Steelers is a woman in charge of that. So, I mean, rich people do stuff like this. I don't know why it's a story. I mean, rich people keep the money in the house and everybody eat. And this is just another example of somebody really rich keeping the money at home.
But the thing is, with Jeannie Buss, she was groomed by her dad, Dr. Buss, and she was a teenager to run the team. Now she's in her 50s, almost 60s.
She inherited it. She inherited it,
but she was groomed to actually run the team also. The same thing. You know what I mean? Before she took over any reign, she was groomed for like 25 years. The lady who in Pittsburgh, she just owned the team, but she gave people to run the team. She gave them their stuff. So that's one thing. But this woman has no football experience, none, and she's co-CEO of a Washington football team. So you could kick back against it, or you could go with it. I don't know. I mean, I'm not against.
I don't know the woman. I mean, she's not my friend, but I would imagine she has some qualifications. She's not a fucking housewife. And they just bring her here to run the team. She might not run a football team, but she's probably a CEO or something if her husband is a billionaire. I'm just assuming
even if she's the CEO of his bank account, she's the CEO of something. But listen, I think Jeannie Buss is getting a raw deal from Phil Jackson. And since talent is the only single person on here, I think you ought to make a run at her, T. And Jeannie Buss.
She ain't got no ass.
Okay. She got billions of dollars, you idiot. Who cares?
Last time I checked, money.
Y'all get ready to turn this to a love boat. We're going to turn this to a love boat. We ain't turning this to a love boat. We ain't going to do this. All right, now let me talk about the next thing up is because a couple of months ago, we all were talking about Shohei Ohtani, and you guys like, yeah, baseball, whatever. But guess what, y'all? A baseball player who's a pitcher, who's Japanese, is leading the major leagues with the most home runs in the league. So it might not be a big story to us, but in Japan, I'm sure they doing cartwheels. What you think about that one, John?
Like we said, it's Japan. They bootlegging it as we speak. They bootlegging the breaking records as we speak. No, I mean, a record's a record, man. I don't really care. I'm not a guy that's confined, to local news or stuff that we know. Even if we don't know, sometimes it's nice to learn stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? But baseball and Japanese, man, always amaze me. Like their dedication to that sport is ridiculous. Like how the Asians approach and attack the game of baseball is amazing. So kudos. I say kudos. Break more records.
Yeah, that's what I say too. Fig, what you think?
He didn't really break a record. It was an album that he had at his house. He broke an album, not a record, Frank. You got the information wrong. No. Yo, man. Ohtani got a bat made specially in Japan. It's called the Godzilla. And it's made a little fatter than other bats, which makes it easier for him to hit home runs. I don't know, man. This is unusual news, man. This is the first, like you said, he's breaking albums, records, whatever you want to call it, cassette tapes. He's making history, man. Never has a pitcher been able to do this before, and now this pitcher just so happens to be from Japan in the same year that the Olympics is being held in Japan, and they're having a lot of COVID cases over there. So something seems to be a little fishy.
Rodney Perry, your thoughts?
I mean, anytime a guy breaks a record, it's a big deal, man. They call the man Showtime, and that's who he is. He's Showtime. He's that guy that's out there, winning games, and you got to respect him for that.
Rodney Perry, your camera does look much clearer. I actually like how clear it looks. Looks much
really?
clearer.
They do call him Showtime? I thought that was specifically for the Lakers. What? That is ridiculous.
No, they call him Showtime, according to his Wikipedia.
Let's continue on. let's continue on doing this, man. I got to talk about the next thing up, man. I saw Scottie Pippen make the news this morning about something he said about Phil Jackson being a racist and stuff like that. Personally, honestly,
really?
Yeah, he said that, and he got caught on camera. He was on a Dan Patrick show. Dan Patrick said, "So you're basically calling Scottie Pippen Phil Jackson a racist?" And he said, "Yes, that's exactly, yes." So I don't know about you, Talent. I'm gonna ask you. And here's another thing too, Talent. Every time they're talking to Scottie Pippen, he got some alcohol on his desk, man. He got some liquor. I want to say he's on the sauce when they ask him this type of stuff. But what you think, Talent?
Well, let me tell you something. If I'm a retired Scottie Pippen, I'm gonna have some alcohol on my desk too. And I ain't even win with Michael Jordan. I keep this nearby. Here's the thing. I heard the whole interview, and I did this on my show this morning because it's very similar. What he's saying about Phil is very similar to what I argue about Phil all the time. How he says he's not only racist, he used and exploited the players. And I always say that. When people say he's a great coach, I'm like, I don't know. Is a guy a great spades player because he got all the cards?
Yes.
No, he's not. He's called a lucky son of a bitch. Like, when you shuffle cards and deal them out, the cards land where they land. Now, if you get the big joker, the little joker, the deuce of diamond, all the aces, you got a lucky hand. Don't mean you're a great space.
You still gotta not renege though. You know what I'm saying? You still gotta play the card.
Make you great. You're absolutely right. I think when he said about him, he said two things. He brought up 94 when he called that play to go to Kukoc instead of him. He said, I was highly insulted. That's why I sat down. He said, it's my first year playing without Jordan. I'm the go-to guy, but you're telling me I'm not. We're going with Kukoc. So yes, I was highly insulted. That he said I felt like that was him making him the great white hype. And then he said also what he did to Kobe in LA when he was coaching with Shaq, and then he stopped coaching and he wrote a book. He said he took all the secrets out of you. You're supposed to be the guy to keep the secrets of the coach, and you put them all in a book, dissing Kobe, only to come back and coach him again. And now you're all in his head and his mental. He said the way he used the black players, to catapult himself as the Zen master. Hey, I can't argue with a man that was around that man that long, that up close and personal. That's how he feels.
All right, I'm gonna throw it to you, Fig, see what you think. I'm not necessarily sure I agree with Talent because Phil Jackson can coach, and he had a whole bunch of great players, and they lost a couple of championships too. So I don't know.
A couple, but they won way more. And when he came to New York, he stunk it up. He stunk the whole city up.
I'm not going to debate just yet. I'm not going to debate this yet. I want all y'all to say your points first. Let me see what Fig thinks first. What you think, Fig?
I don't know, man. I need a little more when you go to calling somebody a racist. I need a little more than something having to do with a basketball game when you felt highly insulted. Hell, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen felt highly insulted when Tony Kukoc was highly sought after by Jerry Reinsdorf when they were in the Olympics, and they was going after him like rabid dogs when the first time when the Dream Team went to the Olympics and they had to play Tony Kukoc's team. So I mean, so he puts him in he calls the play for him. I mean, hell, the dude that was, I can't remember his name, the dude that was coaching LeBron James in Cleveland called the play for somebody else other than LeBron James, and he was highly insulted. So does that make him a racist? I don't know, man. I need a little more. You start talking about somebody else, like, I don't know, another player like the dude, the owner of the Clippers. That was racist. I need a little more information than you was putting a white guy in the game over a black guy, and that made you a racist. I just need a little more than that before I'm willing to label you that way.
Now, I'm going to throw it to you, Rodney Perry, and I'm going to just throw one caveat out there and say, when a great coach is coaching you, they could use you as a decoy. I don't understand why Scottie Pippen didn't see that. That's the way I took it. You know what I mean? With the Tony Kukoc thing on Chicago. But he got insulted. LeBron got insulted.
But you can't be a decoy, Frank, when you're taking the ball out.
We'll debate this in just a second. Rodney Perry, what's your thoughts?
Listen up.
Shots fired.
I got all type of shit over here, right? So look, anytime a black man in America tells me something is racist, It is.
There you go.
140%.
There you go.
Now, can we look back and go, yeah, well, maybe they didn't mean it? Yeah, they did. I'm gonna tell you what else is racist. The whole NBA. I'm gonna tell you why. Okay? Because they have made a concerted effort to get white faces on their floor. They went way over to Yugoslavia and Czechoslovakia. All that they can't find no American whites. So they went and got some Caucasians from way over there. You think Tony Kukoc was kind of the beginning, Dirk Nowitzki, this Luka kid that everybody talking about now. That's all a part of that. So you telling me that a white man born anywhere pre-60s is not racist? I mean, maybe. Maybe he learned over years working with black people how to deal with them and how to navigate the world that's black, right? But I also think that they create this atmosphere of people that are beyond black. There are people that they don't consider black no more. Michael Jordan, Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, people like that. Oh, he not black. So when you start to look at things like this, if Scottie Pippen said he was there,
yeah,
I gotta at least give him some credence, because he saw it up close and personal. I mean,
that's my point.
It might be. I mean, he might have been made that one particular story, but it might have been 100 stories that just crossed his mind because he was drinking. So the long and the short of it is, man, I don't doubt Scottie Pippen, but this new book tour he's on is exposing stuff about Michael Jordan, exposing a lot of stuff. So we're gonna see this over the next few weeks anyway. So Scottie feels slighted. The team slighted him. Jerry Reinsdorf slighted him. And he almost took him to the playoffs. When Jordan was gone. So I mean, the guy's a great player. He don't get the credit he deserves. And I mean, I get it. He's a little pissed. And I wouldn't doubt that he dealt with some race like we all do because we live in a great country, America.
All right, before I move off topic, I'm going to ask y'all one more question about this topic. And I'm going to say, Town, do you think Scottie Pippen's doing this right now just to sell books? You know what I mean? Because why in 2021 are we hearing about all this stuff right now?
Well, I mean, probably because it's in the book. That's what happens when you write a book. You go on a book tour and people are going to ask you about the book and ask you certain questions. You're in the media, Frank. Like if I'm on a book tour, hopefully if you got an interview with me, you read my book or some of it or most of it. So you have the proper questions. He's not just sitting there. I want people to get the idea that he just sat down and said, look, hey man, come here. Yeah, fuck Phil Jackson. He didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? He sat down, you read the book and you go, hey, why would you say this about? And he would say, well, because of this, and the third. But I'm like this. I'm like with Rodney. He's up close and personal. This is a guy, I don't think for no other reason, is not going to wake up on a Tuesday. He got championships with this man. His legacy's connected with this man. You got to have a reason to say what you're saying. I don't think he's just coming out to just say, throw around the word racist. I got to believe him because he's up close and personal with this dude. If I work with a guy 10 years, Frank, and I say, hey, man, don't mess with dude, he a little racist. Me being your friend, I would hope you would take me on my word instead of going to bump your own head because it may not end well for you. When I gave you a disclaimer going in, you might not want to do business with this guy. This is how he looks at us.
Wow.
Great point. Fig, what you think?
I'm pro-black all the time. I'm black first. That's my number one motto. Black first all the time. I would like to have a little more evidence. I mean, Scottie Pippen has been saying a lot of things that just came out of left field, not just about Phil Jackson, about other players, about Michael Jordan. He said some stuff concerning LeBron James. And so like a lot of the stuff just seems like, I don't know, like sour grapes. You know what I mean? So now we come to this. I have a history of stuff that he said previously about other players, and now he's saying this about Phil Jackson. And I'm like, okay, like, can you give me something else other than the fact that you know, if you're gonna call a dude a racist, can you give me some information? Because I don't know. I'm willing to believe you, but can you just give me something else other than he wanted to put Tony Kukoc in the game and have him take a shot, other than you at the end of a game? Can I get a little more than that? Because to me, that's not racist. That just have to do with basketball. But if you got something else, I'm willing to listen.
Well, let me just say this, Rodney, and I'm gonna throw it to Rodney Perry. I agree with Fig because he could be just throwing that out there just to A, sell a book, and B, to be besmirching Phil Jackson's name. Phil Jackson has a legacy. You know what I mean? He got a name. He did a lot. I need a little more. You know what I mean? Go ahead. What you think, Rodney? You agree with these views?
Here goes, guys. Is Scotty trying to sell books? Absolutely. These stories are probably in the book. I'm actually gonna get the book because I wasn't on my list until we had this conversation. So he sold at least one with Rodney Perry. I want to get the nuance of the story. I want to hear what he's saying. And is he trying to bring down Phil Jackson? I don't think so because again, their legacies are connected. Did he experience some things that he wouldn't talk about real time? Probably yes. Right? So without reading the book, it's hard for us to say either way because I think that extra evidence y'all looking for is in that book. And the reality is, I mean, we all encounter racism every day. We would hope that it wouldn't exist in a place like the NBA that houses 80% black athlete, right? But it probably does.
Yeah,
it probably does. And your boy Kwame Brown, although he's no Scottie Pippen or no Michael Jordan, he's been saying that. And so, who's lying?
Yeah.
I think we're like the white man in America right now. Frank and Fig are like the white man in America that's upset about all of the statues being taken down. Sometimes we have icons in our life that we've learned to love over the years, and then somewhere out of nowhere, Bill Cosby, somewhere out of nowhere, something happens, and it's hard to go from decades of this to this one moment. So the first thing you do is you may fall into a defensive mode, like I need more. I'm a black man in America. I don't need that much more. He wasn't. First of all, let me clear this up. He wasn't using the Kukoc thing so much as a example of racism. That was a question asked of him because that's one of the moments in his career that people always question. So in reading the book, the interviewer says, "What about that time you sat down?" Because that's always been a blur on him. It's like a right. Chris Webber timeout.
Right. Very true.
His thing has been, why would you sit down? You know that
you abandoned your guy.
Yeah, that was bad sportsmanship. You disrespected your team and your coach. And he said, no. I was disrespected. I felt slighted. That's why I sat down. And he gives you play-by-play of what happened in that moment. He said it wasn't even like I'm gonna run around maybe and get the, swing the ball another option. He's like, no, Scotty, you take the fucking ball out and give it and shoot it over there to him for the play. That's the play. He's gonna swing on a pick, but you're the guy, the inbound guy. Boom. So he was like, nah, dude, I'm number one now. This is the first year without Mike. I'm number one, and that's the call. You know what? Y'all go ahead and do the play. And sat down, and that's why he sat down. But my thing is this. We got to more so, I know we don't like to tear shit down sometimes, but we have to, like he said, give our people a benefit of the doubt. Why are we so prone to need so much evidence because we don't want to believe this white guy, and this guy's saying this black guy?
No,
America.
We could talk about this for about a good hour because you made me think about 5 things I want to mention, but I got to move on because we only got an hour, and I got to talk about Paul George because Paul George he turned out to be a beast among beasts last night. That dude showed out last night, and he became the MVP of the playoffs. If you ask me, for just how he's been playing the entirety of the playoff. Last night was the cherry on top, I think. I just want to ask you, Talent, what you think about Paul George, the criticism he's been taking, and the way he's been playing in the playoffs right about now. What you think, Talent?
Well, I watched that game in the bar last night, and the general consensus, self-included, is that big ass crater of a hole he built for himself last year in the playoffs, he has climbed all the way out of that shit and on top of Mount Everest of that shit. He has redeemed himself 100-fold. He is the most consistent player, in there doing what he got to do. And hey, how about this, man? If I got $100 bill, I want to give him about $60, and I got 40 left over for Reggie Jackson. That dude need to be a New York Knick.
That dude might be a New York Knick.
Reggie Jackson is balling out of control.
Yeah,
don't sleep on Reggie Jackson.
No, Reggie Jackson's the X factor. I know Paul George put up some numbers, but Reggie Jackson, if you watch that game, he's the X factor, bro. All his shots was the timely dagger shots. Paul George did what he was supposed to do, though.
You know what's really despicable about Reggie Jackson is he's being paid right now the player minimum. That's what is despicable about watching that.
Come to the Knicks. We got money.
Yeah, I know, but Fig, tell me what you think, man. What you think about Paul George last night going off?
I always thought that Paul George was a baller, man. I mean, from his days back in Indiana, I thought he was that dude. He did pretty well when he was in OKC. I don't know what I don't know what all the stuff was about. I mean, hell, Kawhi didn't play that good either in the bubble. The whole damn team. How you just gonna put all of that on Paul George? I mean, because the Clippers lost in the bubble. You know what I mean? The Clippers as an organization didn't play well. Kawhi didn't play well. Nobody on the team. There was dissension in the ranks. It just is crazy to me how a guy can have a bad series or something like that, and his entire legacy is sullied because of it. I mean, to me, Paul George has always been that dude. Has he been on par? Saying when you compare players, is he Kevin Durant? Is he LeBron James or whatever? Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe he's not on their level, but is he a bad player? Is he this choker or whatever? Hell no, because somebody called him choker because he missed foul shots. How many players in the NBA has missed foul shots? I mean, there's only a handful of 90+ shooters that shoot the foul shot. LeBron James has never even made 80%, and people call him the greatest NBA player in the world. Paul George missed 2 foul shots, and all of a sudden he's a choker. I always thought the dude was dope.
All right, let me ask you, Rodney Perry, because Rodney Perry, Paul George playoff fall, 41 points, 13 rebounds. He's playing the most minutes in the entire playoffs right now. I think he showed out. I think some of the criticism he deserves, because when you're getting paid the amount of money he's being paid, you're supposed to deliver it. And some of the times he has not. Now he has been doing this playoff series. He's doing really well. I'm looking at him like it's phenomenal. What you think?
Paul George is balling out of control. I mean, that's the short answer. I mean, the guy's playing. He's quiet all the people that was talking about him, but it ain't over. His job ain't done. If this guy comes up short in this series, he gonna be back in the shit hole, if you will. And Frank used the word despicable, which was amazing. And the question, it was wonderful. You said, "Well, what's despicable is playing for the league middle." I'm like, that's great.
That's right. I did.
And Fig manages a way to squeeze an insult to the great LeBron James in his tirade about Paul George. Look, Paul George is no KD or LeBron James, but he's proven that he is not the pile of doo-doo that we thought he was last year. When he didn't show up, he said, "Ooh, I'm not feeling good." Like, we can all talk about mental health, but guess what? Nobody want to hear that shit when your ass not playing.
Yeah, honestly, you know what? I agree with Rodney. Nobody want to hear it, man. When you
Nobody, man. I don't know what to do. My mind ain't right. You better go, motherfucker, find a shot.
Yeah, look at all the criteria that Scottie Pippen went through when in the playoff run when he got that migraine, that headache.
Nobody care.
Nobody cares. Nobody
we
cares.
can take the little tennis girl. We can listen to her plight, but don't nobody want to hear no Paul George talking about he can't get his mind together.
Hey, it's still a double standard in the world, man. You're a man. You're supposed to be tougher on paper than a woman. I mean, that's just the old.
Dude, I love the fact.
Standard.
I love the fact that he stepped up, especially in the era where we always talk about these super teams, and his super team fell apart right in front of him. And we saw KD step up, but he came up short. Paul George cannot come up short.
Yeah,
they need to push this to a game 7, and they need to win game 7. Like he can't just make it to game 7.
Wait a minute, we still got to win.
Hilarious! This is hilarious.
I'm telling you.
Do you know how many? Wait a minute. Can I just say this? Do you know how many guys make millions and millions of dollars and never even got to where Paul George is, Dame Dollar? Like there's guys that make millions and millions of dollars and they don't get there. LeBron James didn't make it to the playoffs. He got millions of dollars. Why we not saying that about him? Why? Because Anthony Davis was hurt? Why we not saying that? Why we not putting the same amount of pressure on LeBron James for not making it into playoffs this year or to the finals this year because he didn't make it?
Okay.
Why not the same pressure?
Now, let me
making more than Paul George.
Okay. Let him answer. Go ahead, Rodney.
Are you ready? Ready?
Yes, I'm listening.
All right, beautiful. So look, this is the issue. You had a window last year in the bubble. You failed. You cannot fail again. Period. You cannot pay. What?
This year.
This year, you cannot fail again. You cannot fail again. It's not me, Fig. I want to see the guy win. I'm not anti-Fig. I'm not anti-Paul George. I want to see the guy win. But if he don't, people are going to say that nigga didn't win again.
Yeah, but what people need to say, what people should be also paying attention to, and I'm going to start with talent with this question, are we overlooking at Tyronn Lue the job that he put on? Listen, the coaching that he did last night was a clinic because he kept out Boogie. He put Boogie in the game for 15 minutes, and Boogie balled out last night. Reggie Jackson balled out last night. Yeah. The moves he was moving, and everybody's not even paying attention. What's his name? The twin. He played the 5 last night. You know what I mean?
Marcus Morris.
He played the 5.
I like him at the 5 too. They were small.
I love it at the 5 too.
Yeah.
Listen, here's what's amazing about that coaching too. And I'll throw it to you, talent. Tell me what you think. Nobody expected Morris to play the 5 and them to do as good as they did. And then nobody expected Reggie Jackson to come in and do that well. Nobody expected Boogie to play that well. And most importantly, nobody damn sure expected Paul George to do that well, play that well. So are we overlooking the prowess of what the coaching of Tyronn Lue is doing in this series? Because I think we are. You know what I mean? I think we are. Hell, I think we are the whole playoffs. What you think, Ty? What you think?
I don't think it's nothing genius happened as far as coaching. You know what happened? The same thing I said when the games were too tight on the East Coast with Milwaukee. Someone needs to call a timeout and just remind the players, you tall. Go inside. Crash the board. They are winning with the basics, Frank. Nothing amazing happened. They told them to play big, go to the rack, don't rely on the 3. See, there's a difference when you shoot the 3 and hit it. It's another different thing when you're relying on the 3. Big. Everybody know you can live and die by the 3.
Big.
This is finally last night. Hold up, Frank. You asked me a question.
That was despicable. That was despicable.
I'm sorry. This is just the second time in 2 days I saw somebody with alcohol and their dad say something crazy. But go ahead.
Wow. You just asked me. All I'm saying is you think it's amazing. I'm not seeing amazing coaching. What I'm seeing is getting back to the basics and fundamental. I'm seeing them crash them boards and play big. You're right. Boogie balled out. You need the big man out there balling out. You're bigger than these guys. I hate when I see a team stand way taller than another team and getting their ass kicked or keeping it too close. Why are you not playing big? Even Paul George, he's a tall, lanky dude that when he attacks the basket, he's hard to defend, bro.
Okay, so that's his drop the mic moment. I'm gonna throw it to you, Fig, and I'm gonna say to you, Fig, because I'm gonna act like talent ain't even anything. I'm gonna say, yo, man, did you see how crazy talent was talking when he was on the box seats? Did you see that? How crazy that boy was talking, acting like he didn't see Tyronn Lue say, let me call a timeout right here because they're gonna make a run. Let me call a timeout right here. Let me put Boogie in and swap out Morris to help ease that run. Oh, let me call another timeout here and draw up a play because they just came at us with a phenomenal end to the halftime. You know, I mean, I saw certain things happening during the game every time Phoenix made a run because that dude was making a play as a coach should. I wish we had it from Celtics, but you know that's
the sad thing about it is that as exceptional a job as Tyronn Lue is doing, there's some white guys on the team that called him a racist because they put in some black guys, and the white guys did not get like Zubac. He was like, yo, you guys got me on the sideline trying to pretend like I'm injured and putting in Boogie Cousins and Morris, and they called Tyronn Lue a racist. And I'm like, yo, man, come on, man, this is basketball. Just because he putting the black guys in, you gonna call him a racist? Like, is that like, and I want to wait for their book to come out. I wonder which one of them are gonna write a book about how racist Tyronn Lue was the whole time because he put a black guy in the game.
I'll just say this, Talent. If you killed yourself while you're on the air, we have no insurance, bro. None. Like none.
If I kill myself on the air, insurance is the least of my worries.
Right.
I'm dead.
The show gonna blow up though.
Yeah, it was. Yo,
rating, we gonna go viral though.
Rodney Perry, you
I know
agree
what
with
you're saying. You're saying because of when he did what he did.
Right.
But
when he did what he did and the moves he made. And the moves he made, the way he made them. You can't, bro, that's what coach is all about, man. You know that. You know that.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Frank, and mark my words, because this thing probably gonna most likely go 7, and there's gonna be anybody's game, and it's gonna come down to 2 things. The fundamentals, watch the bigs play ball, watch people attack the basket, and the X factor will be Reggie Jack. He's the one consistent X factor. Like that dude, and what I love about him is he's smart. When that J's off, he going to the rack. Yeah.
Rodney, you agree with Talent? Because if it goes 7, Clippers is winning that. I don't think it's anybody's game. If it goes 7, Clippers is winning.
No, I like the job Tyronn Lue is doing, man. You know, we talked about Phil Jackson earlier. Phil Jackson comes from the school of letting guys play through it. You know, he don't like to call timeouts in crucial situations. He like let the guys play through it. And we saw Doc Rivers do that during his series, like, go guys, play through it. But every time you can't always do that. And so to see the guy stop, call a play, settle his team down, get him back going, put Boogie in. You know Boogie ain't got but 15 minutes. So give him a hot 15 so everybody can headline. Everybody can headline. Somebody need that 15 and go smash it.
Right.
And that's what Boogie did. Go ahead, Taylor.
Everybody can headline. They can't do it well.
You know what's funny? Here's what I believe we're over, like slight little detail that we're overlooking. Tyronn Lue was the coach of Cleveland when they made that 3-1 comeback against the Golden State Warriors. Tyronn Lue was the same dude that in the previous 2 series, the Clippers were down 2-0, and they made it came back on 4 in a row and won. Now they're in this series, and he's making changes and stuff like that, and the Clippers seem to be doing better. I think, look, I'd have to put a lot of that on Tyronn Lue. I mean, because that is his history, and he has a pattern of making changes and making the teams be able to play better. I gotta give the kudos to Tyronn Lue.
So you saying the Cleveland Cavaliers won because of Tyronn Lue? That's what you just said.
Listen, it had coaching does have some validity. You understand what I'm saying?
Agreed.
What he said to the team, and this is documented. What Tyronn Lue said to the team when they were down 1, and he gave a speech to the team. He said, "Listen, anybody that doesn't believe that we can come back and win this series, don't get on the plane." That's coaching.
Well, I'm gonna give you guys 60 seconds. I want to throw one more thing out there, and I'm gonna start with you, Talent, and say this. After the game, Boogie came to Paul George's defense, and he stood up for him. He said, "I don't know why Paul George is taking all this mess and everything else, and why he's been taking all this mess and everything else." And then some people have kicked back this morning on talk radio that I listened to, and of course, I even heard some stuff on a couple of radios. They're saying he deserved the stuff from what we are saying. Do you agree with Boogie, and we should leave Paul George alone, or do you agree Paul George did deserve, the criticism he got? What do you think?
When he got the criticism he got, he deserved it. I mean, we wasn't doing anything but what anybody else did. We was calling it like we see it. We were looking for it, and a lot of this has to do with money. With great money comes great expectations. We were looking for the Indiana Paul George, and we got something else. And it came at the worst time. So it's going to stand out like a sore thumb.
Fig, you got 60. What you think?
The one thing that I think that we didn't mention is that Paul George also came off of a horrific injury when he broke his leg, and then after that, he had two shoulder surgeries, and I believe it took him a little while to come back from that, and get to himself.
That's a great point. Rodney Perry, what you think?
Does he deserve the criticism? Absolutely. And if the man don't win, he gonna keep getting criticized. So I think Paul George has definitely done what it takes to make that bad energy go away. But he also, if he can win, if he can get to the finals, it's over. Well done, sir.
Yeah, I think so too. He got to get to the playoff, the finals, but I think he's done well right now. Anyway, we got to get roll up out of here, and I wanted to get a little bit of time so Talent could tell everybody out there about that 30 he got coming up, and see if we got added any more celebrities to his standout thing. You know what I mean? Because we know we going. But
well, let me tell you what I'm working on now. I'm trying to get Brand Nubian to be added to the Saturday night hip hop performance with Roxanne Shante, Mr. Cheeks. Trying to get Brand Nubian, and I got a call in to Pete Rock, CL Smooth. So we're trying to make it, we're trying to power pack it and have a great time. But what we do know, we know John Hinton will be there from Living Single. We know AJ Johnson will be there. We know my Box Seats crew going to be there. Rodney Perry, Figman, yours truly, Talent. We know Skeet Carter's there. We know Sean Harvey's there. We know Ed Lover's there. We know Ray DeJean's there. We know it's going to be crazy. We know it's 3 shows with comedy. We got drunk karaoke. We're going to be giving away a lot of money, cash prizes, and things like that. And we got the hottest DJs, man. We got DJ Rasheen, DJ Chris Love. Everything's all settled. Everything's square. We connected to the Bally's. You want to gamble? Do that. You want to bring your side chick? Do that. You want to be legit like Frank and Fig and bring wifey? Do that.
There you go. Okay, don't get me in trouble here, man.
You want to be like me? You want to bag a couple of hoes? Do that. Anyway, it's in Atlantic City, July 30th to 31st and the 1st of August, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Please lock it in. Talent at itsjustcomedy.com. Email me, man. Lock in your rooms. We got you covered.
There you go. There you go. Fig, tell everybody out there how they can follow you, bro.
I got one question. How long do they have to be out before we stop calling them the Brand Nubians? The Brand Nubians is dope, man. One of my favorite groups. Your boy Fig on all social media platforms and comedian Fig Box Seats. Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Best damn sports show on TV. That's Talent.
Rodney.
Hey, I'm easy to find. RodneyPerry.com is the website. Rodney Perry Live on all your social media. And the show rocks today at 7 p.m. What's what I call it? Hot Topics, yeah.
I was about to ask you, man. What about the hot topics? Okay, yeah, all right, there it is. Y'all know what the name of the show is. It's called Box Seats. On every day, Monday through Friday from 1 to 2. That's the name of the show. The name of the channel is called Humor Mill. We'll be back tomorrow, and maybe we might have a guest this week, see what Talent gonna do, work up and everything else, because he said he's cooking something. But y'all know what it is. Y'all know the show. Y'all know the channel. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.